on the injury report, the guy that didn't practice today was Dak Prescott. Today was really a rest day for him. It really wasn't anything to do with ankle soreness, I don't believe. I think they were just giving him a reason not to practice today. But the practice was really based a lot on, they were using cards. And when I talk about cards at practice, here they worked against the Rams yesterday, but they went ahead and they took their backup players, the guys, a lot of the 2s, the 3s, the 4s, and they got them ready for this game is what they did. So you saw a lot of Cooper Rush today. You saw a lot of Trey Lance today. And I think that, like I say, they're getting these guys ready. When the offensive line, our young tackle, Guyton, practiced today. So I think he'll be good to go for the Rams game on Sunday. But it was pretty much all the backups were taking all the reps when they called for the first, the first group, and then so it's all your seconds, your thirds, your fourths are getting that work. The ones were just, you kind of had an idea that they have a plan. It just looks like they're not going to play many of their starters at all in this particular game. Just for watching how they ran their offense and their defense today, it didn't appear that we're going to see a lot of these starters on Sunday. So if you're looking forward to that, that's kind of where we're at. Any questions about that, boys?
Yeah, any at all? Like rookie starters, you think?
Well, I think
second-year guys, where's the cutoff?
Like Nealon, Guyton, Carson.
Those guys, Guyton.
Give me something, Coach.
Yeah, to me, but like I said, you're gonna. Actually, when you look at it, it was like Beebe was the starting center. Guyton was in this. They had T.J. Bass in this thing, but then all of a sudden it was also like Awesome Richards. There was no Steele. There was let's go. The wide receivers were all the down the line guys too. It wasn't like that you saw, with Tolbert and Brooks and those guys. It was and Cooks. It was like the Billy Johnsons, the Croppers, the Cam Johnsons, guys like that were getting the majority of the looks, and so and I was kind of trying to watch what the defensive line was doing, and so you didn't have Tank, and you didn't have Micah. People like that were not involved in it. It was all the backup linebackers. It was like the new linebackers were involved. Nick Virgil was involved. Willie Harvey was involved. Buddy Johnson was involved. You didn't have the Overshones, the Clarks, and Leofau, guys like that. We'll see what they do with Leofau, but I didn't see him too terribly much on the drills that they were showing today and getting ready for this game on Sunday.
I don't mind an overall careful philosophical approach to this, Brian, if that's what you want to do. Sometimes I don't think the benefit of playing is worth the injury risk. You know how I am with those.
Yeah, it's just I think the first time out of the blocks, I could see why they did the scrimmage yesterday, and because they did get a lot of work with their first offense and their first defense. So that kind of, and you could control that type of practice. You can say, okay, we're going to take a break. Don't hit the quarterback. Don't take the running backs to the ground. Trying to protect each other here. And I for the most part, it really was a really good practice working with each other. I don't know how much people got to see some of the clips and stuff on DallasCowboys.com. We talked about it a little bit from the 6 to 7 yesterday, that there were some areas that weren't really pretty. I was working down with the backup offensive linemen, and they had their struggles against the Rams. It's like, we hadn't practiced technique or any type of pass sets for the whole time we'd been here. Everybody kind of reverted back to trying to survive, and it really wasn't all that great. But we'll see how things work out on Sunday, with a little bit better. Like I say, the one-on-one stuff was for the backup guys was a little scary yesterday.
From what I could gather, the Rams offensive line was struggling with some of the Cowboys.
Oh no, they absolutely were, and both groups. And the Rams are really banged up on their offensive line. So but it was good to see.
Is that why we got some Mazi a positive yesterday?
Gotta be.
Yeah, with Mazi, the one-on-one stuff, and today, and actually today, him, just because he had some success yesterday, you could kind of, Mazi's one of those guys, and I don't know really how to describe it. It's kind of like being a field player, like when you feel like, okay, I can do this. Yes, okay, I can. He's one of those guys that usually if he has like a good rep, it was a problem to get a second good rep or a third good rep. But, today he was a little bit more bouncing around, trying to throw some moves, maybe got a little confidence working on the one-on-one stuff. I know I talked about him on the team period that I didn't think his conditioning was all that good.
Well, sounds like confidence is very important, and it's
very
touch and
important
go.
to him. Yeah, very important to him. And I think the thing with Mazi is, they're going to need him to play well. They just need more consistency with him. He doesn't need to be inconsistent with his consistency. That's, if you want to really be honest about it, because he's capable of doing stuff. You watch DallasCowboys.com, the pass rush stuff, you're like, all right, he could do that stuff. That's the kind of stuff they saw him when he was at Michigan. Mm-hmm. Okay, why is he unable to take that from this rep to this next rep to this next rep? What is the disconnect there? And I think there's times where Mazi lacks a little confidence in the way he plays.
And sometimes being unconfident can get you in your own head. Now you're not reacting. Now you're not present. You're not focused.
Thinking way too much.
Yeah.
But
maybe it's a turning point. That's actually kind of encouraging.
I hope. Because like I said, I didn't get a chance to see, because I was on the end of the field watching Cowboys offensive line one-on-one, and then I saw the clips on DallasCowboys.com, and it looked like overall that the Cowboys defensive line had some success, in the one-on-one stuff. And I was like, okay, I see where people are kind of drawn from, but they're going to need Mazi to be good. I'm not asking him to be great. Just go be good. Just go find a way to be good, and be more consistent with your technique and the way that you play. Get in condition. If you're gonna try something, try it. If it's not successful, go to the next thing. Just don't get in a rut as a player. And I think that's what happens to Mazi. He gets in a little bit of a rut, but hopefully, like we were talking about here, that yesterday's practice gives him a little confidence, and we'll see if he needs to play in this game on. He needs to play on this game on Sunday.
Yeah.
He does not need to be a guy standing over there next to me while the game's going on. He needs to find a way to have some good snaps, whether it's 10, 12, a couple series, whatever. He needs to find a way to have develop some consistency where he can develop some confidence as well.
Well, that would be awesome. It's rare for a player to be as bad as he was his rookie year and turn into something, but maybe yesterday was that turning point.
Yeah, and maybe so. And I got to tell you real quick about Andrew Booth. Do I have time, General, or are we up against it?
Yeah.
Okay. Andrew Booth, the trade that the Cowboys made.
Yeah.
This is really kind of this is just, of course,
Nation right for him, right?
Right, this is player for player. And this Andrew Booth was a second-round pick out of Clemson. And when you watched him play at Clemson, he played a ton of zone coverage at Clemson. He wasn't always really challenged much as a player. But I just remember him having really, really good quickness with the ability to drive on that football, the plant, the come forward. I think he's a 50-50 tackler at times. He runs, he moves well. There is a burst there when he has to carry the receiver inside. That's always something really, really big with me. Can you carry receivers inside? Can you run them? I just didn't think in college they got many opportunities. And then you watch him with the Vikings. He is a good-sized corner. He plays on the outside. I know people on Twitter are all saying, oh, he's a good inside player. I did not see him play one snap inside. And I watched him play with the Vikings, and they had him primarily playing as a right corner is what they had. But He's good with his hands. He can jam the receivers along the line of scrimmage. I liked his reactions. I liked how aware he was as a player, especially when stuff was coming in front of him. Like I say, he'd be in a zone drop, and then something would happen, and then he'd have the ability to react. He was not afraid to fill on the run when it's coming his direction. But I feel like, though, that, again, he's going to be a 50-50 tackler when it comes, because he makes a tackle, and then in the Tennessee game, he missed a tackle in space, the two really opportunities he had. And then the Seahawks caught him on a double move for a touchdown in a game. So that's something we need to kind of keep an eye on. How aggressive is he going to play? I think for the most part, though, like I said, you got Nahshon Wright, who really wasn't going anywhere with the Cowboys. And probably the same thing with Andrew Booth with the Minnesota Vikings. They probably felt like he wasn't going anywhere with them. So you just get two players. It's like, hey, change the scenery. Here we go. You take our guy, we'll take your guy, and then we'll move on forward from here.